Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, and of course, welcome on back to a brand spanking new episode of WWE 2K14 Universe Mode. And of course, we've got a stacked show for you guys. We are just coming off the heels of No Way Out, the pay-per-view which saw quite a bit of different turmoil and change take place within the WWE Universe. Of course, we saw Daniel Bryan become the World Heavyweight Champion in the main event match, which was spectacular. A spectacular physical contest between himself and Cesaro. We saw the Wyatts retain their titles, all of the Wyatts, I should say, because even Bray Wyatt defeated Triple H within the confines of the steel cage. And furthermore, on top of that, we also saw Chris Jericho retain his title against Roman Reigns, which was a spectacular showcase of heart, guts, endurance, and most importantly, expertise on behalf of Chris Jericho, who seemed to be in quite a bit of trouble, however, managed to pull through and still be victorious tonight. Or I should say last night, or last time at the pay-per-view. But nonetheless, of course, plenty of things, including also, of course, Layla becoming the new Divas champion took place as well. So a lot of stuff took place. Nonetheless, let's get rocking, let's get rolling with Monday Night Raw. We kick things off with Rey Mysterio defeating Eric Rowan in what was a spectacular showcase of heart and endurance from Ray. Of course, Rey Mysterio and SINCARA now have been secured according to the rankings. They have been officially announced as the #1 contenders for the tag team titles that are currently being held by Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. And we will see that match, of course, at our next pay-per-view, which, by the way, will be, of course, Money in the Bank. So that being said, let's progress onwards and forwards. The new champion, the new Divas champion, unfortunately gets off to a rocky start here tonight as she is forced to tap out to Natalia's sharpshooter, setting up a very intriguing matchup down the line. Big Show and Antonio Cesaro go at it after Cesaro came out here tonight and, of course, was not too happy about the fact that Ryback will be the next challenger for the World Heavyweight title. Cesaro feels that he deserves a rematch. He deserves an immediate rematch. And after complaining, well, he was interrupted by a certain Big Show who came out here and KO'd Antonio Cesaro. My oh my, what will that entail for the World Heavyweight Championship picture in, or over on, I should say, Smackdown? And next up after that, of course, we saw Dolph Ziggler and Roman Reigns go at it. Both men still want a shot at the Intercontinental Championship that is currently being held by Chris Jericho. And tonight, Roman Reigns was the most brutal man we have ever possibly seen within the WWE. He just absolutely demolished Dolph Ziggler. He speared him through 2 barricades. He knocked him through a table. I mean, it was just an absolutely brutal showcase of physicality by Mr. Roman Reigns. Physicality, by the way. That truly is something that I just said out of my mouth, which is kind of redonkulous. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, in our main event of the evening, it will be some tag team action after Triple H said, you know what, I run this place, I know what's best for business, and what's best for business is for Triple H and Bray Wyatt to go to war again, because Bray Wyatt, that's the key. We haven't ended this war. You might have won a battle. You might have won several battles at this point, but the war will be won by the game. So that is how we got to our main event of the evening, which of course will see Chris Jericho, of all people, teaming up with Triple H. Old rivals, I would say. Both men who have not been on the same page for many parts of their career, but tonight they will have to be if they want to walk out of this match not only victorious, but more importantly, without really serious damage being incurred, as they will be versing against the WWE Champion Bray Wyatt, and his partner tonight will be one of course, the Demon's favorite sons, and that is Kane. And look at this, it looks like Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt are going to open up this contest. Of course, Bray and Chris Jericho had a very great singles contest a few years back on NXT before Bray Wyatt moved over to the main roster along with the Wyatt family. And that was a very highly touted matchup, so I'm very intrigued to see these two compete again. And look at this now, Bray Wyatt with a big elbow right to the back. Interestingly enough, Bray Wyatt, when he just made his way into the WWE, nice and Zaguri from Jericho, beautiful timing there. When he just made his way into the WWE, as I was saying, he was actually he challenged Kane. So it's very interesting to see if Kane is going to forget that. Has he forgiven it? And, of course, whether or not those two guys are going to be able to be on the same page. That's another very important question. Of course, this matchup was made by this man who's currently in that ring right now, and who's Triple H. And a lot of people said that Triple H now has not made the correct move, not the fair move. A lot of people actually said that it might be Chris Jericho who deserves a WWE Championship shot after defeating Roman Reigns. And a lot of people thinking that that is definitely a viable proposition. However, Triple H evidently does not agree, as he says that he will be the one who will be versing against Bray Wyatt again over on Money in the Bank. And Triple H, having talked to him backstage, he has told me that he really was not prepared for that matchup at No Way Out. He knows that he should not have made that match, but he knows that he was the only man that could have and will stop Bray Wyatt. And look at this now. Kane is in the ring. Kane's making his way to the ring. And look at this, Kane going after Jericho. Of course, Kane is going to be challenging for the Intercontinental Championship on that same night, of course, at Money in the Bank. And look at this, though. That distraction that Kane actually provided for Triple H provided Triple H plenty of time to recover and then hit Kane with a couple of maneuvers there real quick, including a really, really nicely timed Russian leg sweep. And now look at this. Jericho with a nice arm breaker, of course. That is very, very smart work on the arm. You take away that potential for the clotheslines, but also, most importantly, is, of course, the finishing maneuver of Kane, which is that choke slam, which we saw, of course, Kane basically delivered Dolph Ziggler into the stratosphere with that choke slam. And look at this now. Jericho, what's Jericho thinking here? Oh, looks like Triple H is going to take care of Kane. And look at this now, Jericho. Looks like Jericho is just waiting at this point. He's kind of waiting for his partner Triple H here to make a move. The referee must be in a very, very peculiar position here because he has to be fair and balanced, but the man who's signing his paycheck can kind of regulate and pick and choose how things go. So I've always found that to be one of those disadvantageous things, and just like in the situation at Money in the Bank, I mean, Triple H puts himself in a match, and that is certainly unfair. It's unfair that a man can just talk his way into a championship contest. Don't get me wrong, Triple H is as good as they get. He's definitely a very, very, very highly decorated competitor. Look at that nice elbow from Jericho, and now Jericho to the top rope, very quick here. Nice dropkick by Chris Jericho. Beautiful timing by Jericho, who's doing a really great job up until that point of staying on Kane. Look at this, though. Jericho really has been super impressive as of late. He's really, really come into his own even more than he has ever in his career prior to this. Look at this, though. Jericho creating a little bit of space between himself and Kane. And now, look at this. He's chasing Kane. He realized that Kane might have been going for the tag there for Bray Wyatt. And I think that Jericho, very, very smartly and intelligently maintaining control of Kane, sending him into his corner. And now look at this. He went for the tag for Triple H. Unfortunately, took a little too much time, and now it's Kane who's driving the knee right to the forehead of... Oh, God, nice leg drop there from Kane. And look at this, though. Nice reversal. Beautifully countered. Nice into the neck breaker by Jericho. Nice timing there. And now Jericho with the tag to Triple H, and now it's the Game who's in there. Ooh, goes for the big chop. Misses that. And now look at this, though. Nice clothesline from Triple H, who goes into the quick cover. Hook of the leg. The one. Only gets himself a 1 count. So far, this has been a very, very back and forth contest, but it seems like Triple H and Jericho have started to take control of the situation ever since Kane has been in there. Look at this now. Triple H. Clothesline after clothesline, following it up by a pin cover. Very, very ferocious. A lot of power thrown into those clotheslines. He's really trying to obviously put Kane down with one of those. And then again the cover. Triple H very diligent with his pinning attempts here. He certainly seems like he wants to get out of here early. Look at this now, back suplex from Triple H, nicely done. And then the knee drop follows that up. And again, the hook of the leg from Triple H, the one. Only manages to get himself a 1 count still. Kane really showing that he's still in this. And look at that belly-to-belly suplex delivered to Triple H. Beautiful timing. Oh, but the counter now from H. And now the quick tag to Jericho. And it's Jericho who's off the ropes. Oh, look at this though. Oh, misses that crossbody. And this might be the time that Kane could go for the... Huh, interesting. He chose to go for the pinning attempt. I did not expect that. Uh-oh, but look at this now. Bray Wyatt's in there. And we've got all hell's been unleashed in the ring. Look at that. Triple H with the counter. Hits Bray Wyatt with a giant clothesline there. Uh-oh, and look at this now. Kane going for the camel clutch. Interesting. I did not expect Kane to go for a submission attempt there. However, you know, when you're reversing against somebody like Jericho, and that's a good way to obviously slow him down and slow down the pacing of the match. down to where KANE could favor from it. And I think that it's a very, very smart and viable strategy by KANE here, who's doing a really good job, a great job even, of keeping control. Oh, look at this though! That claw right to the temple. We saw him do this to, of course, Dolph Ziggler, and we saw how devastating this maneuver was. I mean, he is literally just closing in your skull onto your brain. That is definitely not a position where you want to be, but this is furthermore, you do not want to be here either. Oh my god, there it is, the choke slam. The choke slam by KANE. My goodness, the cover, and this has got to be it. 1, 2, and Triple H just a second too late for the breakup. Oh my, oh my. KANE, Bray Wyatt are on the same page, and tonight they were victorious and defeated two of the biggest superstars of all time in the form of course, Chris Jericho and Triple H, who were on the same page. However, it was just simply not good enough. Look at this. I mean, this maneuver here really changed the entire complexion of the match. Prior to that, I mean, you could definitely say that the camel clutch was a big cause for why the complexion of the match was changed. I honestly have to believe that, of course, Chris Jericho wasn't 100% in this match, as was KANE. I mean, KANE was in a bit of a struggle against, of course, Dolph Ziggler, but you have to remember that Chris Jericho suffered a brutal beatdown by Roman Reigns. I mean, a lot of doctors were telling Jericho not to even compete tonight. However, he went against that, and guess what? I think that he really did pay for that, and I think that that was a mistake. I really think that Jericho should have taken a time off, especially when you have to think of the fact that in 3 weeks' time, I have never thought that we would ever see that, Bray Wyatt and KANE hugging, but I have to say that in 3 weeks' time, or in 4 weeks' time, but 3 weeks, of course, well, I guess it is 4 weeks. In 4 weeks' time, of course, it will be KANE versus Jericho with the title on the line. And honestly, the damage that he suffered here tonight might really come back to bite him in the butt and might be a big mistake that Jericho made. That being said, he is certainly a veteran and he knows what he's doing. He has proven that night in and night out ever since he has returned. But nonetheless, of course, let's get rocking and rolling as we move on over to SmackDown, which, of course, if you guys don't know, I do not book the SmackDown shows. They just book themselves. Basically, I let the computer decide what matchups we will see, and we will play through the main events. So that being said, as you can see, we've got Cody Rhodes versus Christian. Cody Rhodes, of course, breaking away from his brother, and interestingly enough, from his brother Goldust, but interestingly enough, making his way to Christian's ringside tonight was Damien Sandow. We have never seen those two together, but it seems like Sandow and Christian are on the same page, and it seemed to pay off tonight as Damien Sandow was able to create a distraction and allow Christian to capitalize and be victorious here tonight. My oh my oh my, the Primetime Players are back at it, of course, after Darren Young took some time off from an injury. Now he is back, and the Primetime Players are back on track as they defeat the two-man band, of course, Heath Slater and Drew McIntyre. The other member of the three-man band was versing against Wade Barrett tonight, and Bad News Barrett delivered a huge elbow, and a bullhammer elbow, I should say, and that was night-night for Jinder Mahal. In our co-main event of the evening, of course, the two men that are competing both and want a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. They want to be either added to the triple threat contest between, of course, Ryback and Daniel Bryan, or, as they have both said, they want Ryback to be replaced by one of them. And that is, of course, I'm talking about Big Show and Antonio Cesaro, who are both chopping at the bit, so to speak, at getting a shot at the world title. But tonight, Big Show, once again, with a beautifully timed KO punch, knocks out Antonio Cesaro out cold. And seriously, Big Show has that one weapon. I mean, throughout the entire matchup, it was Cesaro dominating the majority of the match. It truly did seem like Cesaro had Big Show's number tonight, but he truly made one mistake. Big Show, boom, hits that big KO punch just in that one split second, and my oh my oh my, it was lights out for Antonio Cesaro tonight. This will truly be a big challenge for Cesaro if he needs to take on Big Show in order to become a #1 contender again. This will truly, literally, and figuratively will be a big challenge for Cesaro. And in our main event of the evening, the Wyatts. In some tag team action, we're going to have the Wyatts versus SINCARA and Rey Mysterio. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, some tag team action over on Smackdown for our main event. Of course, we are very, very proud of the tag team division that we have managed to assemble right here on the WWE Universe mode, or WWE 2K14 Universe mode on the Blitzwinger channel. I'm very proud of the fact that we've got a really, really highly decorated at this point and really competitive tag team division. I mean, we've got a lot of great competitors here. We've got the Dudleys, we've got Ray and SINCARA, we've got the Shield. So, I mean, it's a really, really stacked roster of teams, and we're obviously proud to showcase them on a regular basis, even in main event positions. And as you can see, we're going to have Luke Harper and Rey Mysterio open this up. Of course, Harper really, really aggressive in the early going. He was trying to get his hands on Ray after Ray pinned Eric Rowan after the 619 out of nowhere hits the splash, the 1-2 to 3. Kind of shocked us all because it was just such a quickly paced matchup over on Raw when Rey Mysterio pinned Eric Rowan. And tonight, SINCARA and Rey Mysterio will attempt to do the same, and that is pin either Luke Harper or Eric Rowan in order to, of course, get some momentum going in as they head into the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, on the next episode of the WWE 2K14 Universe mode, we will begin the tournament for Money in the Bank to determine which man will compete in the Money in the Bank. Uh-oh, look at this. Nicely done. Nice leg sweep there from SINCARA. And then the standing moonsault, that requires a lot of acrobatic ability. But yeah, as I was saying, we will determine who will be the man that will be competing in the Money in the Bank matches on, of course, the pay-per-view. Ooh, nice. Look at this. SINCARA doing a really, really fantastic job of countering all the big power moves that Luke Harper has been trying to attempt at. Oh, and one mistake has led to that. The belly-to-belly suplex, so much power is generated by that. I mean, you can see the size difference between Luke Harper and SINCARA, and it's not that SINCARA and Rey Mysterio are very, very small man. It's just that Luke Harper and Eric Rowan are ginormous, man. I mean, you could see Luke Harper compared to the referee there. And, oh god, look at this. Ooh, nicely done. I thought SINCARA was in big trouble, but then the arm drag out of nowhere by SINCARA. Beautifully done, and now he tags in the much more experienced, of course, Rey Mysterio, and here comes Ray. Ooh, nicely done arm drag. And Rey Mysterio pinned that man right there on on Monday night. And look at this now, the head scissors. We saw Ray go for that weapon several times on Raw, and it worked really effective. Uh-oh. Oh god, that is dangerous. That is very, very dangerous. Going right for the lower back is Eric Rowan. And look at that. You could see Ray wasn't getting up from that very quickly. That was a very, very strange maneuver, but it evidently obviously worked because you can see that Ray is definitely hurt. Oh, God. Look at that belly-to-belly suplex from Eric Rowan. And I have to say, the Wyatts, I mean, they have been competitive as heck, but when those titles are on the line, I really don't know if there's anybody who can defeat these guys. They have just been able to decimate the Dudleys, to take those titles away. Then they've defended them against the Shield on 2 different occasions. And then now they'll be defending them against SINCARA and Mysterio. And I know that it might be a rushed decision for me to say that they're unstoppable. However, the way that they compete in title matches is just second to none. It's like Bray Wyatt when we saw him. I mean, Bray Wyatt steamrolled Triple H. I mean, he literally just absolutely demolished Triple H. There was no point in the time in that match where Triple H seemed to be competitive with Bray Wyatt, which is, of course, why you might be scratching your head, as are many members of the WWE Universe, as to why Triple H will be challenging for the title again. But, as Triple H said, he's the boss, and he knows what's best for business. Look at this beautifully delivered and beautifully timed, I should say, maneuver by SINCARA and Mysterio. We should get back to the matchup of SINCARA closing in on potential 2 count there on Luke Harper. And now working on the legs, taking away that power base of Luke Harper, and then the nice kick right to the back. Of course, rearranging the spine of Harper. Uh-oh, look at this, though. SINCARA, ooh, he goes for the kick again. Nice counter there. Beautiful timing, and then he goes for the head scissors. Man, SINCARA and Mysterio might truly counter my whole notion about defeating Harper and Rowan. I mean, they have lost to the Shield before. They've lost to the Dudleys as well, but SINCARA and Mysterio are making it look easy. Oh god, maybe I spoke too early. Sit down powerbomb, or the Harper bomb there from Luke Harper. Forearm across the face, the 1-2, and you could see it took a lot of power from SINCARA. A lot of energy was wasted in the kick out there. And unfortunately for Harper, he wasn't quick enough to get the counter, but he is quick enough negating Rey Mysterio's entrance into the match as he just Irish whips Mysterio knocking the entire air out of him. Look at this drop toe hold and then the elbow drop from Eric Rowan. And a regular elbow drop is not a particularly dangerous maneuver. I mean, there is definitely danger in terms of driving your elbow right to the chest of your opponent. But God, look at that choke slam. And this might be night-night for Rey Mysterio. 1, 2, 3. Oh, God. As I said, I really don't know who's going to stop these guys. They are certainly a force to be reckoned with. I mean, look at this. The quick tag here. Here comes Eric. The hip toss, of course, you can see this was the early ongoing of the match. There's SINCARA showcasing some of that absolutely fantastic acrobatic skill that he possesses. However, after that sit-down powerbomb, nothing was the same in this match. That truly slowed down the pace of the contest. And then look at this. Right here, boom, look at that elbow, bam. But as I was saying, I mean, from Eric Rowan, the weight and the height from which he drops that elbow is ridiculous. And look at the elevation here. Look at this. I mean, Rey Mysterio got elevated over Eric Rowan's head and then driven into the canvas while being held by his throat. So definitely a very, very dangerous maneuver to be in, and definitely not something that I would ever want to experience firsthand. But that being said, there you go, guys. The Wyatts once again victorious here tonight, and you can see Rey Mysterio is still rolling in pain, and Luke Harper and, of course, Eric Rowan are celebrating their additional or another one of their victories. So that being said, there you guys have it. This will conclude, of course, another episode of WWE 2K14 Universe Mode right here on the Blitzwinger YouTube channel. Of course, next Friday we move onwards and forwards and we move closer to Money in the Bank. Next Friday we will also begin the very first round of course, qualifications for the Money in the Bank matches, which should be quite a spectacular series of contests as well, because of course the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, in my opinion, is more life-changing than the Royal Rumble is, because the Money in the Bank will allow you to cash in whenever you want. You don't have an expiration date in terms of like how WrestleMania, where if you win at the Royal Rumble, you got to compete at WrestleMania. But with the Money in the Bank, you can cash it in right as the WrestleMania main event is about to end or has ended. That's truly a very, very, very powerful tool to have, and I think that a lot of competitors are going to be seeking to be in that match. But on top of the Money in the Bank matches, we are already starting to build up quite an interesting card. Of course, Daniel Bryan will defend the world title against Ryback, the United States Championship, so that will be a champion versus champion situation. Should be a very intriguing matchup. Of course, both men had their time off from Smackdown tonight. They were traveling on a different live show tour, so to speak, so they were not on the show, unfortunately, but they will be back hopefully next week. But on top of that, we've of course got the Bray Wyatt versus Triple H rematch. The Wyatts will verse against Rey Mysterio and SINCARA. So truly a good card stacked already. And of course, also on top of all that, Chris Jericho will go toe-to-toe with KANE for the Intercontinental Championship as well. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so very much for watching. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, share the videos with your family and friends, favorite the videos as well. And of course, we will catch you folks next week with another episode of WWE Universe Mode 2 or WWE 2K14 Universe Mode right here on the Blitzwinger YouTube channel. Thank you guys so very much for liking. Thank you guys so very much for commenting. And we will see you next time. Peace out. See you later, alligators.